President Biden is using his executive power to create a New Deal-style American Climate Corps.
Yeah, this plan is to serve as a major green jobs training program, could employ over 20,000 people. Our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes, back again to talk about the implications of this decision. So, Khalif, you got the president who's hoping Congress, passes everything that he's wanting in this climate bill. The Republicans obviously opposing this. So, how does the executive, using executive power, how does that work, and what's the downside of that, if there's any?
Well, I mean, the downside is it kind of subverts and avoids going through the normal process that you would want. You normally would want Congress to work hand in hand, or at least have some pushback to whatever agenda that the president has, but at some point come to a resolution. But I think it underscores where we are at as a country right now politically, where folks are trenched in and are picking their side and are fighting for hills that they want to stand on. And so I think that's where we're at. You've seen an increase in executive orders. President Obama used almost 300 of them. President Trump used 200 plus. Biden is only at about 130, comparing that to FDR that used 3,000 plus executive orders. These are used when you can't get Congress to do what you want. And so I think that's what he's used this in the past to say. He did something like this 2 years ago. He said that the United States is at a profound climate crisis, and we got a narrow moment to fix this. And we have to take issues here in this country and abroad to fix this, or we'll not avoid catastrophic injuries. So for him, he's like, this time is of the essence. We got to move now. We don't have time to wait for bickering. I want to get this done. And he said that this can create jobs. 20,000+ jobs for young people is what they say. And so I'm assuming these are probably lower paying jobs, entry-level jobs to get you into the government, but a way to you address an issue that one side of the aisle believes is a really, really major issue.
Well, you mentioned time of the essence, and also we know that the Biden administration also focused on the next election. He struggled with young voters. He got hammered for that oil drilling project in Alaska. Is this kind of a way to maybe get the young voters back in the fold as we head back into election season?
100%. I mean, young voters already are folks that don't consistently vote on a strong basis anyway, but this is a topic that young voters are very passionate about, and young people in general. Climate change is an issue that's going to affect them probably a lot more than it will affect our generation. And so they're attempting to say, I want to get out in front of it. You've seen young people on social media talking about how this is a great step in the right direction, not just talking about doing something, but creating jobs, training us as younger people how to create an infrastructure that will support us and not destroy us as a climate and as a country going forward.
So what happens now? So the president says, I'm going to invoke my executive power. He doesn't have to wait on anyone else's signature. Does this start tomorrow, or? Yeah.
He has sole authority to do that. The Constitution gives him the authority to do that. There could be a challenge potentially. You've seen the challenge to his executive orders in the past, specifically with the student loan push. That was probably the most recent one that you can point to. But those are even rare. Even if you cannot get Congress to agree on doing something and the president decides to use an executive order, it is extremely rare to see the courts overturn an executive order because there's not much history. There's not much legal standing to say, you know what, you couldn't do this. The president has a large, very, very wide range of authority, and this is where his authority lays. And so you have to say that he's extremely exceeded his authority, and you normally have to point to a history of him exceeding it. So I think it would be hard for someone to stop this. And back to the political portion, you don't want to be the person that says, yeah, this is bad. I mean, you can say it, and you don't want to support a vote, but I mean, are you stopping 20,000+ jobs? I don't think anybody wants to do that in this election season.